Martin Lewis is usually here to tell you how you can manage your money and stuff, but today he's really breaking out. Because if you want to know how you can beat your family and your mates at board games over Christmas or any time, well, he's going to show you how.
He certainly is. Martin is he's an expert in everything, to be honest, but is definitely an expert at board games. Or a keen amateur, what would you say?
Keen amateur.
Keen amateur, all right.
A good home player is how I phrase it.
A good home player. And you've got this special programme. The story that we love is you're so obsessed with board games that you proposed to your gorgeous wife using Scrabble.
I did, yes. It was, of course, the anniversary of it. It was December the 21st, 2007.
Oh. Well done, well
done. So we play travel Scrabble everywhere. We have a little set. We go out for dinner. People look at us weirdly because I have to say, the great thing about something like that, because sometimes people look at you, and if you're out, you're in a restaurant, you've got a game of Scrabble between you, and they look at you like you're weird. But then you watch other people who are either couples are both on their phones or not saying anything to each other.
Fair enough.
And when I finish work, I'm incredibly stressed and normally can't string a sentence together. I'm tired, but it's a way we can engage with each other, but actually just focusing on a game. So there's more to it than you think.
It's like when people say about going for a walk, isn't it? It sort of relaxes you and you relate a different way. Is there any truth in the... Oh, sorry.
The proposal, what I did was simple. So it's one of the very few times I've cheated, because for those who play Scrabble, you know you need a letter near the beginning of the alphabet to start.
Right.
So I had palmed both blanks in my back pocket, because nothing beats a blank. And then I had other letters in my other pocket, and we start the game, and I get the board out, and I go, oh, I've got a blank, what have you got? And clearly I won, so I start first. And then I start putting, I've got 2 7-letter words, will you and marry me. Right. And I'm putting them down. As I'm going through it, Lara's like, you've got too many letters, what are you doing? And I couldn't, because I was very emotional, I just went,
aww.
I just went, shh. And I think that was the moment she knew. And then I put it and I turned the board around.
And was there any truth in the rumour that you pocketed the N and the O just so she had no choice but to say yes?
That would have been good, though.
Did she answer yes, or did she spell out yes?
No, well, actually, it's a bone of contention because she just said, of course. And I was like, you've got to say yes. She said, of course.
Well, look, you've done this incredible programme, which we can see tonight at 8 o'clock. Let's have a little look at it and then we'll talk all about it.
Winning.
When you buy one house, on average across all properties, the return on investment is 26%. With 2 houses, the return on investment is 56%. But with 3 houses, whoa! It's 110%, a massive jump between 2 and 3.
And you say that the sweet spot on the board is to land on the orange ones.
Well, I do, but let's just do what that is telling you.
Okay.
So what you learn afterwards is the return on investment doesn't increase much on 4 houses and on hotels.
Oh.
So when you're developing a Monopoly, I'm going to lots more tips in the show tonight. I'll just give you this one here. When you're developing a Monopoly, what people do is they get one set and they build up to a hotel.
Yes.
No. You build up to 3 houses, then you look at your next set and you build that up to 3 houses.
Right.
So you build up to 3 houses until everything has 3 houses, and only once you've got 3 houses and everything do you push towards a hotel.
Brilliant.
Because the return on investment, the gain on your money, the amount your money multiplies, is 3 houses is your sweet spot.
Got it.
So people are building too much too quickly, go round 3 houses and everything, only then do hotels.
And why is orange the right... Is that because most people... Is that because statistically you're more likely to land on orange?
There are 2 reasons you would buy orange first. One is it has the second best return on investment. Again, if you look at the rents you bring in compared to the cost, the amount that you're putting in, orange is second best to the light blues. Light blues are the best. Yep. Orange is best as a set. There are individual properties that beat it, but as a collective set. Yeah. And the most landed on board at Square and Monopoly is jail. You do both going to jail and walking past jail. And orange is 6, 8 and 9 away from jail, and therefore there's a higher probability of landing there than elsewhere. So the combination of those 2 factors makes orange a primary set to buy.
Can I say,
that's Monopoly, there's Scrabble, there's Connect 4, there's Backgammon too.
I generally buy based on the colour and whether I've heard of the street.
Okay.
Is this where I'm going wrong?
That's the difference between you and I. That's why I would probably... I reckon if we played a lot of games, Kate, I would win 6 or 7 times out of 10.
Would you? That's being very generous.
No,
are you a risk taker when you play board games, or is it all calculated? Are you a different person? Because we know that in your professional life and my goodness, we've all benefited from it personally, and the country has. You absolutely think everything through to make sure what you're saying. I nearly said advice then, and I know you don't give advice. The things that you are saying are right for the people that are going to hear them. But in board games, do you take a risk?
Well, it's a bit like, that's for me, that's not for someone else, so I can take a risk. Yeah, in Monopoly, I use a gearing strategy, which I'll explain in the show tonight, which means that I rapidly increases my chances of winning, but also increases my chances of losing very quickly.
Oh, OK.
So I play, that's a high-risk strategy. High stakes. And it's a gearing strategy is the way that I operate, which is how we'd call it in finance. Don't worry, on the show, it's nothing to do with money. It's one to watch. I love the fact that I can actually say, this is a good one to watch with your kids. Because when I'm doing energy prices or car finance reclaim, it's not a good one to watch with the kids.
Yeah.
This really is. The Scrabble is fun as well. I get to play... I was so excited about this. I play a world champion in the programme. I play a world Scrabble champion. I won't tell you the result. Okay. But for me, it was such a privilege, because Scrabble, of the 4 games we're talking about, Connect Four, Monopoly, Backgammon and Scrabble, Scrabble is actually my game. I'm a good home Scrabble player. I have a graph of every game I've ever played against Laura. We've played 1,200 since we got married.
Stop there. You have a graph, of every game?
Every game.
1,200 of them?
Well, not the first 17, because I thought... You know, in the first 17 games, it'd be a little bit weird to sort of say, oh, I'm going to start graphing because we're going to be together for life. But after 17 games, I have a graph of every score.
Do you go and look at these graphics?
I fill them in, but I have a rolling average of my score, and so I can see what my form is like. And Scrabble's a maths game, not a numbers game, not a letters game. Everyone gets that wrong. It's a maths game.
Is it really?
It's a maths game. And we'll talk about that in the programme this evening, 8 o'clock, worth watching. But the thing about the graphics, so my average is 409.
Yeah.
Lara's average is 370. And as one of the differences, and it's actually sort of a tip to understand, Lara's just as good at me at getting words on the board at Scrabble. But she doesn't... Strategic, she just enjoys playing, whereas I like winning. And that's the difference. So what she doesn't do is she doesn't do rack management. There's an argument you'd think she'd be better at rack management than me, but we won't go into that. She doesn't do rack management, which means when I play, if I can score 30 with one word, but I will probably score 27 with a different words, which leaves me a better letter in my rack so that I may be able to get a bingo, a 7-letter word on my next go. So I focus on what I'm leaving for the next go. Lara tends to play the rack that time. Yes, ma'am.
I like Cluedo. Do you do anything?
I'm not a Cluedo player, I'll be honest.
So what do you think the difference in mentality is? Because we've already established that we're very different. Why do you think, as I tend to always win Cluedo, is it a different strategy? Is it about people and looking how people react?
Well, I think there is a lot about people in board games. And one of the interesting things in this show tonight is we start off when we play kids, and a friend and I, we teach children at school how to play Connect Four so they can play their teachers. And what's fascinating is one of the things that we do wrong in this country is we teach our kids the rules of games. We don't teach them how to play games.
You're absolutely true, and that could be the same with finance, couldn't it? Or anything that we approach in life.
And actually, the lessons you get from board games, thinking strategically as opposed to just playing and just randomly putting is really important. But we go on. The last thing I do is I play a 90-year-old man, George, unbelievable man, who goes to backgammon.
Right.
And he has been playing backgammon every day for 40 years. It's not a surprise who wins, right? Okay. And he's incredibly sharp. Now, there are 2 things about that. One, there are many older people in this country who are lonely. Well, he's going to a social club playing backgammon every day.
Brilliant.
And 2, his brain is so quick. Now, the stories in the paper today about taxi drivers and ambulance drivers still being sharp.
Lower rates of dementia.
Board game players, I suspect, no scientific evidence, are very similar.
I think you're right.
And my wife, who in her job looks at longevity and is writing a book about it at the moment and this type of stuff, one of the big things, the most difficult thing we do as people, the thing that really challenges your brain is looking at someone and reading their emotions and reading people.
Right.
And you don't do that when you're playing Scrabble on a computer. You do that when you're playing Scrabble in person. You do it by board games in person. And George's acuity at 90 every day for 40 years, 7 days a week, playing board games with sometimes maybe a glass of whiskey and a bit of stuff on the side, and he's still sharp as a tack. So I think there's more to board games, and that's part of the show.
I think you're right.
More to board games than people...
And it's about the community and the connection, and it's, as you say, it's not online.
Well,
this is fascinating, Martin. I could talk to you all day.
Let me plug your programme. Just one word answer to this, and I think I know what it's going to be. Are you a good loser?
Yes, I think I am.
Oh,
now
you surprised me.
Now I'm a dad.
Ah, yeah, you
I'm not sure I used to be. Now I'm a dad, yes.
All right. OK, then.
How to Win a Board Games airs tonight at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX. We'll be watching.